Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Galilee. I'm Carmen, I'll be hosting today. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves? Should we start here?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Ayele.
Hi, I'm Angela.
Hi, I'm Kay.
So today's episode will be about Lent. We're going to be discussing, let me get the notes actually. So we're going to be discussing Saint Valentine's, because today is Saint Valentine's Day, and it's also Ash Wednesday, so we'll be discussing all those topics.
These two dates haven't fallen on each other since 1945.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Since World War II.
I know.
Since what?
My friend said, she said, does this mean there's another war coming?
Guys.
Hopefully not. But before you say something, I forgot to say, this podcast is just about our ideas. Don't take anything like 100%, pinch of salt all the time, because we're not theologians, we're not, we're just young people experiencing their faith and just telling you about it. So
Figuring it out.
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
I'm from an Eastern Rite of the Catholic Church. So, I grew up Catholic. My parents were Catholic. But before, I think a couple of years ago, I found out it's a lot different from the Latin Church. So a lot of things are different. Lent started, although I do follow the Latin Church more when I'm at uni and everything, but Lent started for us on Monday. We don't have Ash Wednesday, we have Ash Monday. We do 50 days of Lent instead of 40.
Wow.
Which is more in line with the Orthodox Church, the Eastern Orthodox Church, because we were Orthodox before the Portuguese came. They came and they were like, oh my god, there are Christians. It's crazy.
Wow, I actually didn't know that.
That's interesting.
Yes. Yeah, so we're called St. Thomas Christians because of St. Thomas the Apostle, the little doubter. Who was following Jesus coming. Yeah, so yeah.
And how do you celebrate Lent?
Lent. So you do no meat and no fish, no nothing.
Wow.
Milk and stuff is more thingy because it's not as so thingy. It was already quite scarce and everything. Meat was something like you don't know fish. So when I came here and I saw people would have fish on Fridays, I was like, huh? You don't have anything on Fridays. Yeah. So I think because of the background we came from, meat is something we give up a lot. Like in families, everyone just gives up meat because it's something, I think sometimes when you come from slightly less well off, or back in the day it wasn't as available. To my parents growing up.
So what do you eat then, if it's not meat and fish?
I make it more
vegetables?
personalised for me because I wasn't as obsessed with meat as my parents are. So for me it was eggs. And oh my god, because nobody had meat in my family during Lent, everyone was just eggs. It was a celebration of eggs. All I saw was eggs. Every kind of egg on planet Earth. I was just sad. Although I'd say I had more willpower than my mum and my dad.
I see.
With eggs.
Very nice. And how about you, Kay? How do you celebrate?
Well, my mum tries to encourage us, no meat on Fridays. And just what she does is trying to eat healthier as well. So it's not just no meat and more fish, but she'll try and incorporate more salads and stuff. She uses this time to really focus on how we should value our health and our body and stuff like that. So, and then obviously fasting, she fasts most of the days of Lent, to be honest. And yeah.
Okay, so fasting Wednesday, Friday, tries to confession a lot more often, no meat. Or to be honest, not just no meat, something that you like in general.
Yeah.
If you already don't eat meat, then there's no point giving up meat.
Yeah.
It's stuff that you like. When I was younger, it was chocolate. That's quite common though for kids, chocolate, sweets. Good Friday is a day someone died. That was my grandpa used to do this. It would be someone died in the family. It'd be very quiet. People don't speak.
Yeah.
You don't watch your kids shows. None of that. No YouTube. Solemn day. Everyone's no loud voices. You're quiet. Things like that. Yeah, kind of typical what you'd expect from if you're not Catholic, from the UK. Usually just like fasting, confession, more prayerful, Station of the Cross as well.
Station of the Cross.
Every Friday. Okay, so for me, it's pretty much the same. No meat on Fridays, and then Good Friday as well. No food, no meat. For us when we were younger, they'd give us like, I don't know, bread or something. But my parents tried to instill the fasting thing quite early. And I didn't know apparently you're not supposed to do that because kids are not forced to, you know.
No, but I think encouraging is different.
Encouraging it, of course. But I always used to get so...
When you say fasting, do you mean like from like food? Or do you mean like fasting from like sweets or like fasting from chocolate?
From food. They started with just... That sounds a bit...
How old were you?
I was 7.
Well, technically that is an appropriate age because that's when you receive your Holy Communion. 7 to 9.
Yeah.
It says
I thought it was supposed to be 12.
With the
I thought everybody did it at my age.
12.
It says 18 and above. 18 to
18?
and above is when
Yeah,
you
it's
start
18 and
fasting.
above.
I think that's
12.
12. You know, back in the day, there were adults beforehand.
I thought it was 12.
I thought it was 18. I read it was 18. And you're exempt.
Maybe
You're exempt
it
if you're
depends
pregnant, elderly,
or if you're sick.
or
as
if you're
well.
sick.
You have to take
Yeah.
medicine. Maybe was this here? Or no, this was in
Spain.
Okay, that makes more sense then. Yeah.
Not necessarily.
No,
it's
it
my
does.
family that did
No,
it, not
but it
necessarily
makes-
Spain.
No, but I'm
Spain.
saying in like terms of like UK culture, that's another topic. UK culture and
Yeah.
Spanish culture is different.
Yeah.
And
Well, there's also the Equatorial Guinean factor as well. So it's not
like
completely-
I think it's with
Yeah.
all different cultures and how they do
Yeah.
How they do it is different,
ways.
yeah.
It's
Like if you were to
different.
say it's like a British family, they'd be like, no. That's no, in general, yeah.
Yeah.
You need to mention the salt.
Oh yeah, I'll get to it. So I started when I was like 7-ish, and I thought every kid did it. So when I went to school and I was like, I didn't have breakfast today, they were like, what?
Yeah, yeah.
Child abuse?
Exactly, yeah.
But no, it was actually, I learned to sacrifice. You know, it was good. I did like get behind my parents' back and maybe have a bit of milk and things like that from time to time. But I learned from that. And then there's also this thing in my family that we do, which is give off salt. So, you know, food tastes so bland if you don't have any salt. Like, you notice the difference when there's no salt in the food. You're just eating to survive, literally. It's imagine having rice, no salt.
Yeah.
That's sad.
No, but it's sacrifice, isn't it?
Pasta with no salt.
Yeah, but guys, if the salt's in the stew, then you don't eat.
There's no salt in the
There's no
stew.
salt.
Meat with no
There's
salt.
no salt.
So it's white.
Yeah.
There's no salt in anything that you have.
Nothing, no
Oh,
salt.
no
So does that
seasoning, no
mean, like-
salt, no nothing. Like it's
So
just
Yeah.
plain.
But
Just
guys,
We do it for the whole of Lent.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
The whole of Lent, yeah.
Really?
I do that now.
I'm not doing that now. Because,
It's easier to do as a family rather than like living.
yeah. I have other things that I'm working on. I think salt I'll leave it for now. I also have anemia, so you know.
Oh yeah,
there's-
you're not doing that, and you're working.
Yeah, and I'm working, so you know, it's not. Yeah. That's what we mainly do.
that's
And pray,
interesting
focus on
because
prayer.
in this country, especially when I was in primary school, every time Lent came around, they'd make us like write what we're gonna give up for Lent.
Yes.
Like it would be like an art lesson. We'll decorate something.
Yes.
I'm giving this up for Lent. I'm giving that. And
Yes.
usually you attempt to give up sweets or you.
Yeah,
It
chocolate.
didn't work. Okay, maybe, but as you get older,
Yeah.
you learn
Yeah.
As you get older, though, do you say to people, I don't know, how do I phrase this question? I don't know, it just feels like weird to say to somebody, I'm giving this up for Lent. Like, it's a personal thing, right? So do you
Some things.
say it?
It depends on if it's
Generally,
based on my sin or if it's based on something that I'm just generally giving you.
Wait, would you like, for example, like friends who aren't like Christian or Catholic, like telling them?
Well, just generally. I guess, yeah.
Okay, it depends. Let's say we're going out to eat and it's like a Friday. Then I'll probably tell them, oh hey, I can't go to a restaurant. I can't go Nando's because, or if I do go, I'll just tell them that I can't have meat because I'm giving it up.
Yeah.
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 Maybe it's a bit random, but I was just thinking of, a passage in the Bible where it says, when you're fasting, don't show, I don't know, I'm really bad with the...
So,
we're
I
not
was
claiming it, are
you know
we?
what? She's right because I literally was reading this today because I was like, if someone were to ask me how, like, oh, why are you not eating all this? How would I respond
Yeah.
to it? And so what I interpreted from the passage is that people back in those days would be like, I'm fasting to gain attention or like social validation. But if it's just a general question, you're just saying, oh, like today I'm not really eating today because like my religion or like I'm fasting, I think that's okay as long as you're not proclaiming it to make it seem as if like to make yourself seem like some good person. You don't
but
need
then
to
how can you
it.
when you're evangelizing as well to tell people that this is what I'm doing?
I think there is a way to do it depending on the time of the day. I think back in the day when you were doing something, they were like, look at me.
Yeah.
I'm all this.
Like he said that you'd go out into the streets, don't be like them who are proclaiming like I'm fasting. Don't make your face gloomy to make it seem as if
don't like
I'm fasting or like you know, you don't need to do all that. Just notice like
But I think nowadays if you're doing it, I think there is a responsibility for us towards God in a way to say like I am fasting. It is Lent. I am Catholic. Don't be like so closed off and saying like should be able to say like in other religions everyone seems okay saying it. Why do we have to feel so like I can't say it? Like some don't feel embarrassed about saying it as well.
Definitely not
people will
embarrassed.
notice though if you're doing things differently and they'll probably ask you. Like if you're
especially if you've got ashes on your forehead.
people
like, where did you get that?
People are curious. People are.
We did get asked last year when we literally came out and we met people on our course too. Like and they were like, oh my god, blah, blah, blah,
Muslim?
Some people are Muslim.
Okay, I think I know who you're talking
about. I think some people on my course and they were like, oh my god, bro, like...
it's good. It sparks curiosity as well. It's quite good. Yeah.
I think it's as long as you're not bragging. You don't need to brag about it.
No.
Don't look dishevelled.
So how do you celebrate it now?
I think it's more personalised. I do fast a lot more. I'm trying to fast now more. Because I used to fast more of giving up things. Because I used to give up all fried food. That was the hardest thing. I was like, eggs, fried food, so like...
And you love eggs.
And I love fried food. Like no chips, no chicken, no fried fish, no fried, everything was just like, that was hard.
Yeah.
So I think that...
Do you know, you actually don't realise how much you appreciate these things once they're gone, you know? Yeah. So it's like, oh my things. When I gave up salt, I was like,
I mean, a lot of things I think we do have to do, that the Bible tells us to do, is for our own good.
100%.
Like, it kind of just adds up and it's just like helping us.
Yeah.
I
was going to say, for me now, I'm more like that. I try to fast more.
I'd say I'm fasting now. I'm doing Wednesdays or Fridays. I'm going to try and fast like 1 or 2 meals. And I'd say my cut-off point is I'll eat after 4. If I didn't like stay any longer, I'd be like, whoa.
Trust me,
it's
sweating. Last year I did like a full-on fast on Wednesday and Friday, and I think I need to lay off that a little bit because I went overboard. Hours a week. I couldn't.
You'll be working as well. That's gonna be
and this year I'm working, so it's probably not wise. Obviously Wednesday today I'll fast and everything. Fridays no meat, and I think I need to be more intentional with prayer because
prayer. Yeah, that's something I'm trying to pray. Yeah, I think that's one thing I don't do is pray. I need to pray more.
Yeah, I need to definitely spend some time with God, and I guess maybe watch the way I treat people and things like that. It's all tied in with prayer. Just self-growth, self-spiritual growth. So
I'd say I'm a whiny person. I think all my friends know. I think I want to be less whiny.
I don't think you're whiny.
I think no, baby. It's just not my personality. I want to just tone it down. I think I got to the age of 10. I saw like people whine, and I'm like, I'm gonna take it on, and I've just been whining for the last 10 years.
I think you're whiny though.
You don't know me any other way.
Oh,
fair enough.
I think I just want to be less complaining because I just complain. That's the way I vent.
I saw something on Instagram. I think Pope Francis was saying 7 ways. Oh, this is so bad. I already deleted Instagram as well. 7 ways to.
7 ways to just acknowledge Lent.
To acknowledge Lent. Something about complaining came up, and the opposite. I don't even know what the opposite is.
What's that complaining?
Opposite of complaining is it
appreciation?
Appreciation. Something like that.
Yeah. Guys, we know you could just look it up.
Oh yeah.
I don't know Instagram anymore. I deleted it.
Wow.
That's something else I'm giving up as well. Social media.
Instagram.
Because I'm really.
Back in the day,
I'm addicted.
I'm not because I don't use it. I wrote down what I'm giving up as my screensaver.
So organised.
It's a good reminder.
Come on.
I think I'm doing the same thing. I got inspired. I'm making my list still.
Thank you. So, rosary every day.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
That is a good one.
Divine mercy at some point in the day. I love when you say that. No meat Wednesdays and Friday. No super malt. Now this one's the one that's actually hurting me because it's gotten so bad that the corner shop man orders it in for me, so it has to stop. It has to.
Really? They ordered it for you?
The corner shop man is
every day.
Not every day. Well, we went with Angela and Philo, and like
he went in when he saw her. Together.
That's how you know.
Okay.
Like she's addicted to it. But it's good for you.
Addicted is strong.
It's nice.
It's nice.
I mean, borderline addiction right now.
No Maltese.
No Maltesers?
Yeah, because when we go library, I love to have a cheeky snack, and it's always Maltesers, so we have to stop that. And no tang fastics.
No what?
Tang fastics, I know.
How
I really care about our health.
How ew. I don't. Sorry.
Alright.
Sorry. We all have our weaknesses, or not.
During Lent, I would like to be more mindful and to pray more, so including like Stations of the Cross and doing the Rosary. And then also meditating on the Word of the Day as well. So that when you do like Bible study during the course of Lent, every day, you almost get to relive how it was to be in those times where Jesus was still here and like evangelizing and healing people all the way up until his death. You really then get to realize the significance of literally his whole story. And I said, just try and be more disciplined. It doesn't have to be like with a specific hobby, but like try to get to lectures on time, try to wake up on time. Don't complain when you're coming out of bed.
Yeah.
You should be grateful you're alive, do you know what I mean? But you don't want to keep hitting that snooze button. Just like trying to be a bit more like...
weakness of mine.
Yeah.
The
I think everyone
heroic
struggles with that.
Yeah. Saint Jose Maria Escrivá said that.
Yeah, the heroic minute.
Yeah.
I think for me, no swearing. Because I think
You swear?
I didn't used to swear. Then I used to swear. Then I just
You swear?
About like when I was 12, I started swearing because I just caught on. It was all interesting. Then I swore for a long time. Then I stopped.
I don't see you.
I've never seen you swear.
I'm giving a timeline. Then I stopped. But then, oh my god, last year, in 2023, swearing just hit and I just started swearing. I think I was just like, I just had like a slight like change in personality, just swearing so much, and now I'm trying not to be very conscious about it.
Is it like the music you listen
Not
to?
only swearing, just in general. I wasn't swearing as normal, but because I didn't swear at all for so long, everyone was just shocked, including myself when I swore. But
So is it maybe the people you're with or something?
Could be. Sometimes it's more to do with emotions as well. Sometimes swearing is just like, it's easier to get rid of irritation when you swear. You have a form to get rid of it because you put so much effort into swearing. You're really enunciating every single syllable, but it's like a way of like displacing your irritation. So it could just be to do with how you feel, to be honest.
I think it was because the type of exposure I was having in terms of like YouTube, social media, I was hearing so much of it, and I started getting more used to it. Then started like saying it in my head so often, like. Then I started like verbalizing it, so now I'm just being a lot more conscious. And I think sometimes like after certain confessions, you just feel so much more close to God. You just like you feel like so against that, and like you feel more like cringe when you do sins.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I totally agree with that. Yeah, you're more aware of when you're sinning, like you know.
And then sometimes what puts me off is I don't want to say it to Father, so I actually will not do it.
There's that too.
So I'm like, nah, let me just chill, let me just sit myself at home.
Sometimes you remember, like, if you think about it, like, God can actually see you.
Oh my god, your family members who have died. Oh, imagine that conscious.
Shameless, I do sin. Like,
I'm like, oh no, that's very embarrassing.
When you think alone, you're not. So anything you do, make sure it's worthy of God seeing. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to hurt his eyes.
That is so true.
Oh, especially like gossiping as well.
Yeah.
Like,
That is so
I
easy to
don't
do
know
though.
where the
So
line is. What
easy.
is gossiping? I think we can get to this at one point.
I think
We need to talk about this.
Yes, we need to talk about this. Yeah.
But that'll be for another time. So should we see? Oh, sorry.
I'll just quickly read through
Oh
it.
yeah.
Let's read it because I'm addicted. Read the Bible every day because that's also part of my like something we told my father. Like after confession, like you need to read the Bible more. Say the rosary every day because I've kind of been abandoning it. Some kind of fasting on Wednesday or Friday. I think I've already touched that. Attend church twice a week.
On Fridays, you touched on Stations of the Cross. Actually, you can go on Fridays. There normally is, I think, around 5 p.m. in the cathedral. You can go for Stations of the Cross. So if you guys are interested,
We
get
did
together.
it last year in the multi-faith centre, didn't we? With Father
Did
Andrew?
they?
I don't think we have much access to the multi-faith centre. As
No,
we
but it was
used
with
to.
Father Andrew.
That's what I'm saying. Because
Oh.
even
But it
now
was
we
only
don't
that
have-
one time, isn't it?
No, he did it.
Or was it every Friday?
Yeah.
How did I not know about
I
this?
just.
Last year I kept going to the cathedral.
I'll just do the last two.
Oh,
ones.
sorry.
It's okay. Be more present at mass and be like actually like, where am I? This is the past, the present, and the future happening at the same time. Like, this is with us like at the Last Supper and us celebrating like the sacrifice God made. This is us right now, and it's also us in the future, like in heaven.
Yeah.
Like with heaven, like because heaven is there. Like when there is a mass happening, we are celebrating with the entirety of heaven. We are like it's a banquet like that's happening. So like be more present.
That's a good one. Good
Yeah,
goal.
and the last one is more. Yeah, it's what you said.
I'd
Be more
say
disciplined
as well.
around it.
Watch The Chosen. It's very good.
Yeah, on
It's
Netflix.
so good.
I know. a
No,
lot of
that- I
people
think
talk
It's
about
amazing.
Everyone should watch.
Is it on Netflix?
Yeah, I think it is.
Is it?
That's
Wow.
why I watched the first episode.
I haven't
Don't they have an app? They have their own
They
app.
have an app,
though.
yeah.
Chosen.
Yeah.
Angel something? Angel Productions.
Angel Studios.
Angel Studios. Yeah.
Ah.
It is so good.
Yeah.
It's
And they're
just
getting really good as well. There's so many
Yeah.
good films that are coming out and like that are touching people.
Usually because what I realise, this also ties into discipline, but when I'm late and I come to mass like a minute before it starts, when the mass is starting, I'm now figuring out how to breathe properly because I just ran to mass. I'm trying to like make sure I'm not hot and stuff, and like I'm trying to gather myself. But when I get there like 5 minutes earlier, I can just breathe, say a little prayer,
Be more
ask God to
present.
just help me open my heart to whatever's going to be said in the mass. So sometimes it's just about taking that time and not rushing.
my mum always
Yeah.
says if you don't arrive to mass when they do number father, so that's just Spanglish. Anyways, when they do that, you haven't gone to mass apparently. That's my mum anyway. That's my mum saying. And she's like, if you haven't gone to mass when they do this, don't receive communion.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's one thing
Yeah.
is like before the gospel on a Sunday.
Before the gospel or the homily, that's what I
Yeah.
I think it's important to be there, like when you say, "I confess to God, to
Yeah,
my brothers and
that's
sisters."
true.
You should even be there before
You're
to
just
do your
surprised.
personal prayer.
Yeah.
Offer whatever things you have.
Because if you like, since it's Valentine's Day, if you're like gonna get ready for a day, if you're gonna put so much effort into it, why can't you get ready for a date with God?
Because you're on time for lectures.
Yeah.
So
where do you put God in your list of priorities? And if it's
Yeah.
not number one, then we need
Also,
to do
show
something.
up. That's something. I think we should all do this in this Lent. This is just me. I want to do it as well, but take it on if you want to. If you're like going somewhere important, you make sure you're dressed well.
Oh, no, that's a good one. No, because I have that in mind.
Maybe I should. I'm
Yes.
sure I can put my tracksuits.
No, that's so true. That's so true.
Because I used to think like that, but then my mum was like, it's not a fashion show.
But at the same time,
like
also
that.
she's saying like don't come like you just come out of bed.
Yeah,
like
It's
that.
to make sure you're. But I tracksuits, guys. Is that such a bad?
But what my mum used to
But it
say.
depends on if you wear it to bed.
No, it's true. Like the way you dress shows how much you care about what
we're
you're
not
going
all
to.
the same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
we're
you
not all
know?
the same.
What my
It's
mum
how we
used to
represent
say-
ourselves.
We'll get there.
What my mum used to say was that if you're gonna go see the Queen, you dress up properly, and you're gonna go see the King of the Universe, and you're not. But I can't chat because I don't. So
Well, I get it.
I feel like
Let's work with that.
you're dressed decently. Like you're not. I feel like if he came in like gym clothes, leggings,
Yeah,
like,
leggings
do
is
you know what I mean?
rude.
Yeah, like
Guys,
Oh
gym
my
babes.
gosh! One time I came to church, someone had juicy. You know the juicy.
Ah, no, but what if that was all they could afford?
No. I
Sorry.
was walking behind her to get communion. I said, "What?
Oh no.
What?"
Well, yeah, maybe
Yeah.
that's something to work on as well.
Modesty.
Modest. Oh, that's a good topic.
Guys, we're
Yes.
jumping,
Do you know it's one of the
we're
topics
jumping,
we
we're
could
jumping.
discuss.
That's how
But we'll jump.
That's
Anyways,
how
You know what? 10 minutes ago we were supposed to.
we were supposed to. That's what I was trying to get at, but you
Okay,
know.
But it's a lot more natural though.
Yeah.
That's true. So Kay, take it away.
Okay,
What
so-
is Lent all about?
So, I'm going according to Catholic.com because it's got a lot of information. But Lent, so Lent comes from like a Latin term, which is I'm not gonna try and pronounce that, but it means the 40 days. So I guess that gives kind of like a hint of how long Lent is. So in the Bible, there's a lot of like passages where the number 40 is.
I was just
um,
about to
like
say,
a
yeah.
period.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
Israelite spies were in the land of Canaan for 40 days. Elijah traveled for 40 days to reach the cave, so he had his vision, and the Neva had like 40 days to repent. So it's a very significant number in the
Jesus?
Bible. Yeah, Jesus was in the
40 days.
desert as well for 40 days and 40 nights. So the purpose of Lent is to just imitate this 40-day period that Jesus spent praying and fasting in order to prepare for like Good Friday and Easter. So in that sense, we try and fast as much as possible and abstain from certain stuff that give us pleasure, because the point is, how would your life be without those stuff? And is that
It's a way of
placing,
detaching from the world, isn't
yeah,
it?
because those worldly things is what is keeping you away from God in a way, because that is your God. That shouldn't be your God. That's now an idol. So we just use this time to kind of just abstain and fast.
And trying to be more like God in the way He's shown us examples on what He's done and like how to live.
Detachment in itself is a really good topic, I think. It's quite hard to think that we need to detach ourselves from not just things that we love, like even our family, you know?
It's the easiest way to fight temptation. Because
Yeah.
you're completely detached.
Yeah. It's a way of reminding us that, you know, this world is not everything. There is more to look for, you know? It can be quite hard. I don't know, what do you guys think about that?
I think it
It's
just
quite
reminds
hard.
me more like during Lent when we started to detach ourselves. Don't be living like how we're living now. Like, don't be thinking, you don't know when the Lord is coming. Like, where are you? Like, you have to be, are you ready to go today if He calls you?
Yeah.
Like, I think it
Yeah.
makes us at least a little bit more aware of that. We need to be aware of how we're living our life. Like, are you ready to go if you are called? Like, I feel like back in the days, our grandmothers and grandpas they were ready to go whenever. Our great-grandparents, they were ready to go.
But you know what? Like their time was like a lot more different.
Yeah.
In terms of, I think it was easier.
Yes.
Yeah.
In terms of.
In different ways, yeah.
For
Maybe
example, they didn't
yeah.
have access to as much stuff as we did.
I think
As
we're more
we
exposed
do.
to sin.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
We're more
At a young
exposed to
age.
sin. Yeah.
But also, what you classify or what you can categorize as sin, I feel like, is the action you take when you're tempted. So what we should really be doing is, even though the sin is there, we need to make sure that we're not tempted to actually perform the action or what can lead to it. Because otherwise, then you're kind of taking away that accountability. Like, oh, because it's there, then now I'm exposed to it. Then that
Might as well.
Obviously,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's definitely much harder these times.
Yeah.
But that just means we need to be that more vigilant.
Wait, you like
Temptation.
disagree, don't you?
Oh gosh, I lost my track of thoughts in the moment. I think you said something about temptation that you should.
So I said, like, when we're tempted, it all depends on how we react to that temptation.
Oh yeah,
So,
okay,
like, So if we react to it and we fall into sin, then it is time to find a way to try not to resist, and you need to resist temptation. It literally says it in the Bible. It's not easy.
Well, I think it says to flee temptation because we're
usually-
really weak, isn't it?
Yeah,
You should
yeah.
never
It's like-
go against, you know,
The
the
thing
devil
is,
sort of thing.
It's
Just
like, why?
just
you know,
run away, run.
I suppose it's very difficult to do though, because
Mm.
I think we're exposed to it all the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
All the
It's really
time.
the root cause is
Yeah.
like what
Yeah.
every time I go to confession, it's like remove the root cause.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like,
We
it's
are
always
so,
the
like-
foundation.
Yeah. Are
We're
you
so
tired?
weak, we are
Are
so
you-
into it, we don't want to
Yeah.
remove the root cause.
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
Do you secretly like it?
Or some.
Do you secretly? Yeah.
Do you secretly like gossiping? Do you find fun in
Do
it?
you?
Like,
Yeah, that is.
But I
that's
just
fair
haven't
enough.
still figured out where is like, what is like.
So find the line.
what
I
is
don't know,
No, actually, I agree. I
I
agree
think
with
it's
that.
like if you're speaking just for the sake of speaking, and then if you're speaking to get a solution, that's how I define it.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
that's mine.
I feel like if you're gonna say something about someone else, the way you display or present the situation needs to be in an unbiased tone.
So
What if
charitable.
you're involved?
Charitable.
Sorry.
What if you're one of the main people involved in the
And that's
situation?
fine, but like what I mean is like if you're saying it, don't say it in a way like, oh my days, and she did that, and I don't know why she did that. Like it comes off as like, oh,
But
now
sometimes-
I'm spreading her. Yeah.
It is like natural to
Yeah.
do that anyway. Because if you're frustrated
Yeah.
and things, they all come out and charitably.
But then you just
know?
need to take
And-
time. Just
Yeah.
I
think,
agree.
have like a little mindful moment,
Mhm.
and just ask the Holy Spirit to allow you to speak kind words.
Because you could
Because
always say you're
eventually-
frustrated, can't you?
Yeah.
You say
Yeah.
in most situations.
Because then you
That's
build
so
up
true.
on that, you end up saying something that maybe you didn't intend to, but comes off really mean.
Yeah.
And now you have to go to confession.
And yeah.
So guys,
Yeah. facts.
always pray before you
Yeah.
gossip.
Yeah. But you don't know gossip.
I think what we can take from here is like this is like what we struggle to do is like okay what we need to be more mindful of is like doing about our personal lives and like when we're involved or like when we're talking about like where our friend is talking about something it's that but you shouldn't be talking clearly like this shouldn't even be like a thing where if you're talking about somebody else's life that you're so
Yeah.
distant about you shouldn't even be like going into like
Yeah, if it's not your
that's-
business,
yeah, don't
you
say it.
shouldn't.
Yeah, facts.
If
Yeah.
you're not involved at all.
stop
like,
inviting
Yeah.
other
Then
people.
don't- yeah.
That person did that, and it's like,
Yeah.
well,
What's he got to do with you?
Yeah.
Stop inviting
Definitely.
yourself into like more
Into
chaos
people-
why
Yeah. Stay out of people's business.
yeah,
Yeah.
Mini leagues.
It's hard.
You're a women's business.
Right, that's really good. So, should we discuss Saint Valentine's as well? Because today is Saint Valentine's Day as well.
Go on, lads.
Go on.
Say, you start with the single people like saying
Whoa, whoa, ow, whoa. Hold on a minute.
Jamie's gonna be like,
These girls have 0 minutes.
No, first of all, we need to understand the history of Saint Valentine.
Yeah.
Why we celebrate Saint Valentine,
wanna-
and then we'll discuss all those.
I mean,
The
look,
nitty-gritty.
Yeah,
was
that's
a
what
bishop
So-
or an archbishop or a cardinal? I forgot which one he was.
I think it was a bishop. I
Yeah.
think.
You
I think.
just
I
find
don't
something to
agree.
speak about. I'll
Go on, Kay, give us the
second.
facts. Spit fire.
Right.
We can tell. Oh wait, hold on. Before we say that, what happened to us today
Oh,
on
so I was
campus?
walking to meet Carmen, and then
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
girl came up to me and she gave me this flyer, and it's like Happy Valentine's Day, and she gave like sweets and stuff, and she was saying how tomorrow and every Thursday onwards they're doing like a Bible study, but I don't really know how that's to do with Valentine.
I don't know either. I was thinking Saint Valentine is a Catholic saint, so what's that to do
But
with?
also the secular world celebrates Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah, true. That is
Facts.
true.
Easter. The eggs are painted.
This is why we need to know the
mini
real
eggs.
story of Saint Valentine. We need to
Respectfully.
Don't
try to cancel me.
oh yeah, you forgot the main bit. They gave us some
Yeah, that's
sweets
what
as well.
I actually mentioned that.
They
last
gave
week.
it. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Sorry.
Huh? Like the little.
Wait,
assembly
did they give us-
Oh no, I was just finishing
Oh,
the
yeah.
story. So it was just, I just found it a little bit funny because today is obviously Ash Wednesday,
Yeah.
fasting, all that.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and it's a bit of a funny overlap
That's
between.
interesting
But is that
because
a
I should have
Christian?
asked them. No, Ash Wednesday.
Are they Catholic? That's the thing. Are they Catholic?
I don't.
No, they
I
weren't
thought
Catholic.
Christians- No, they weren't.
They weren't Catholic. They were.
I think
Protestant.
Christians do celebrate Ash Wednesday as well.
Do they?
Church of England.
They
maybe?
acknowledge it at least. So it'd be
Church of
interesting.
England, yeah.
It would be interesting
Because
to
they acknowledge
ask them,
Lent.
how do you feel
Yeah.
about Ash Wednesday? Or like, oh, happy Ash
Yeah.
Wednesday. Is it happy? Ooh, girl.
Solemn Ash Wednesday. Solemn Ash Wednesday.
Oh no. But I just found it funny that they gave us sweets because I thought,
Yeah.
oh no.
Oh yeah, that's right. And most people give up sweets or something.
Yeah.
That's interesting,
Yeah. Yeah.
But like Valentine's Day is such a big thing on chocolate and sweets.
It's a funny overlap this year, isn't it?
Really funny overlap.
Yeah.
For like all of you, this is related but like kind of unrelated. Did your like high schools or like primary schools try and like cater? Because did you guys all go to Catholic primary schools?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or secondary schools?
Yes.
Yeah.
So like, I know my school on Fridays they'll give us fish and chips.
Oh yeah,
I
same.
think
And, like,
everywhere did
bush
fish
and
and chips.
I thought they do it every Friday anyway.
Everywhere does fish and chips. It's such a big.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's a Christian country.
Yeah, this is Church of England, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
They
I
still
thought
do
they just did that just like...
They do
No.
chicken as well for other people, but fish and chips, it's just offered everywhere usually.
They do it at my hospital
but, like,
as well.
Yeah, right.
Even
for,
like,
like
uni.
vegetarians and that.
Yeah.
Everywhere does fish
But they
and
do
chips.
meat as well, but I'm saying in my, like, they only would ever do fish
Oh,
on
no.
only fish in my primary school. Only fish
Yeah,
on
even
Friday.
during Lent, we still didn't have
No
so
meat,
even
yeah.
without Lent. we
Yeah,
still-
No,
Yeah.
yeah, same.
Yeah, like it wasn't an
But
option.
apparently,
Yeah.
you know, I heard that there's a lot of people who still do the abstinence from meat on Fridays, like every Friday of the year.
Yeah,
That's
crazy.
me.
Yeah,
Guys,
Yeah.
we're supposed to.
Yeah, that's what
We are
it's
supposed to, yeah.
I try sometimes.
I forget. I
You
used to
don't forget.
Just set an alarm.
I
Every
know.
Friday, no meat, boom, you'll remember
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah, but I
Every
only
Friday.
remember after like 5 days.
No, it's so
Oh
true.
gosh. So what's the Saint Valentine's
Yeah, so
history?
what I've
Ignore
gathered,
me.
so what I've got here is that Saint Valentine, he was supposedly a Roman priest who performed secret weddings against the wishes of the authorities in the 3rd century. And then he was imprisoned in the home of a noble, and his final act before he was martyred was he signed a letter from your Valentine to his captor's daughter, who he had befriended, and he healed from blindness. And that was before he died. He sent that as like his final love letter to the daughter. Yeah.
What, his love letter as in
I said love.
love?
Well,
like,
that's what I've gathered from here.
what's the source?
Does he mean friendly?
This is like from different places.
Friendly love?
Friendly love?
What type of
This is
love?
Catholic
One
sauce.
I'm
This is
seeing
Catholic
here.
sauce.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
let's get Catholic
Catholic
sauce,
sauce?
please. This too Saint Valentine's?
Yeah, but they were both martyred.
Oh,
So
well, I think it's the
there's a
bishop.
lot of confusion around who's actually sick.
Lack of communication. Lack of communication.
Saint Valentine, from what I know, I can get fact checked. Was a bishop who married Roman soldiers who were Christian. He was doing it in secret because Christianity was illegal at the time,
Yeah.
I think. So yeah, I think he got caught and then he got decapitated. And do you know parts of his relics are in Dublin? I did not know that.
Oh,
I found out
yeah.
recently. Yeah.
Because I think with the Latin Church, every altar has relics, I think.
Most. Yeah.
Really?
Most.
Oh yeah, in
Yes.
the cathedral in London, in Westminster.
Mm.
I can't remember who. They have a lot of peoples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even like, St. Phil's, the altar in our big chapel had relics.
So we look in here and it says that no one actually knows who Saint Valentine was. There's 2 legends saying there's 2 different Saint Valentines. Apparently his whole story isn't even connected to the idea of love, so that's a secular thing as well. And
Is it?
he says his background is so the clarity behind his background is so confusing. They actually dismissed him from the calendar of saints.
So it was
What?
all
So
that.
Whose relics are there in Dublin? Whose relics are they?
I don't even know which Valentine it is.
I'm pretty sure it's St.
Is it
Valentine.
A or B?
Anyways, from what I know, well, fine, well, keep searching, Kay. Keep searching.
Catholic.com, you know.
Catholic
Goodness
gracious.
Yeah. It says there's
I
one
don't
here
have
that
it.
says that they were marrying couples in secret and he was discovered and then martyred. And the
Mhm.
other one is to do with how he was a bishop and then he sent that love letter to his captor's daughter. So someone
But
said
that could
it
be
literally
taken out of
says
context.
a lovely tell from your Valentine, from your Valentine.
Because he's Valentine.
Oh, because his name's
From
Valentine.
yours.
But we say
I belong
yours.
to you. You get it?
No, but we say yours or yours. So very
So if,
you
you
were
were to
really-
send, so if you were to send a Valentine's card, you say from your Angela.
Oh,
yours,
right.
Angela, or your Angela. That's very common to say it.
Yours
Friends,
truly. Yours truly.
Yes,
It's like
but
me.
in the
It's me.
context of romance and Valentine, would you be saying? Do you get what I'm trying to
That's
say?
like
Yeah.
It's
but
so
like, you know,
if
language
I'm
differences as well.
Oh yeah.
How do people speak their language and write their language? It's a big difference.
And translation.
Translation,
Yeah.
that's a big
Yeah.
thing.
Okay. Well, from what I know, he's the patron saint of, like you said before,
Marriage and
engaged
lovers.
couples, married couples, was it beekeepers or something?
Yeah.
So that's why I was gonna comment on you guys' little comment.
What comment?
At the beginning.
What comment?
No, the comment at the beginning, you guys like, oh, the single people.
No, I'm not involved. I'm Dominican.
Technically,
I'm not involved.
You're Dominican.
Okay, go and look at the meme. He's like, oh, I'm not Mexican, I'm Dominican.
Oh my
I'm not
god.
Mexican, I'm Dominican.
Anyway, so Saint Valentine's is technically for engaged couples and married couples. So
It says lovers as well. So I feel like
So-
you
Does it say
guys are
lovers?
involved. Yeah.
love it. Okay. I could have sworn it's just for engaged
Let's look
people
it up.
and married people.
Catholic.com.
You know.
There's 3
Oh.
and 1 was martyred in Africa. Wow.
Wow. I don't like. What do you
Okay,
mean
so it
Africa?
says here-
Where in Africa?
Where in Africa?
Is it Sudan? Is it Nigeria?
It's probably East.
Oh.
It says here, like, okay, so the person said, in all these men, each named Saint Valentine, they showed heroic love for the Lord and His Church. So maybe that could be talking about like how they displayed their love for God. I don't know, but I feel like everyone displayed their love for God.
I think it was probably the first Valentine that was like for the thingy.
Yeah, but the first.
Gosh, now I'm
Valentine
so
was
confused.
religion.
I don't
Oh,
know
never.
Yeah.
Another
who Saint Valentine is anymore. I don't know.
Does he even
Because you
exist?
could be married and still be a saint.
Yeah, obviously. There's married
Mary
saints,
Teresa's like mum and dad.
Yeah, they're both saints, aren't they? Yeah. There's
Is the other one where the son was like a really like bad guy? at
Monica,
a point?
Monica.
What? Yes, that one. Where her son, he was like drinking.
Saint Augustine.
promiscuous.
Oh,
that's
Saint
it. That's
Augustine,
it.
yeah.
That's it.
Was it both the parents who ended up?
No,
I think it was
just
the
the
mother.
mum.
Yeah, the mum.
Because she
Yeah.
prayed for like
Saint
what,
Augustine.
15 years.
Okay.
That is
Golly.
Is he the one
John
at Hippo?
Monica.
Or is he a different one? I forgot.
No, I don't think it's.
It's not Hippo.
It's not Hippo.
Hippo's the very like.
Are you talking about
intellectual.
couples?
You know Monica, you know say like
It's
Monica.
Monica's son. It's not Augustine.
You know
Hippo,
the
so-
Augustine that was living a very crazy life.
That's Saint Augustine of Hippo.
Is it?
Yeah,
Saint
it's
Augustine of
like-
Hippo.
yeah.
Then he became like a very like he started preaching. In
He's
churches.
I think, was he in the, oh gosh. Saint Augustine, he's the man who talked about like the Holy Trinity or
Yes,
something.
yes,
He was
yes.
in the beach, had a vision of an angel, and the angel basically told him, you're dumb if you, paraphrasing, you're dumb if you think you can fit God into
Yeah.
your tiny brain, sort of thing.
Was it Padre Pio who said like the blanket theory?
What blanket
Can
theory?
you just fold it up? It's like it's one blanket.
Oh, I've never heard of this. What is it about? Explain.
Oh, just trying to explain Holy Trinity. I think multiple saints and multiple people and multiple like priests because it's such a big question. Like I think especially like back in the day, like three in one, the Holy Trinity. Just trying to explain it to people. I
It's
think I
really
came up
hard.
with the 3-in-1 shampoo at one point.
Yeah.
That was it.
I thought I understood the Trinity. I
never have.
don't get
One
it.
But
thing
I
is,
believe.
don't
You
try
think-
it.
I believe.
You know, you think you do, and then you're like, wait,
You're
wait, what?
Yeah.
I think the thing about being Christians is to see without believing. Don't be like Thomas too much. We are,
Yeah.
but like try to believe. I think that is like a grace to have to be able to believe without seeing all the time.
So I like Thomas.
I like
he's
him.
so real. Like, think about it.
No,
Like,
that is
no,
true,
like, if
yeah.
he was in that position, if someone's walking on water, it's not a very normal thing you'd see.
But
So
you
you
get
get
like,
Jesus also
that was
isn't
Peter.
normal.
No, but like after seeing,
Peter.
surely after you've seen Jesus do all these miracles, how can you question yourself that he's going to
Part of it-
resurrect?
Okay, a part
Like
of it wasn't that
Guys,
good.
making water into wine is different from coming back from the dead. Come on.
walking on water, yeah, walking on water,
It's different.
raising people from the dead.
Listen. I think you need to understand. A part of it is not. Part of him, I think, because it's written in the Bible. A part of it was he wanted to see him again. He never got to see him. Every other disciple was preaching. They only like believed after seeing him. Everybody else believed because they all got to see God. They all got to see Jesus.
But
He
also
was
didn't
never
he?
there. He was never there for some of the like some of the
Was he
gatherings.
not?
He was not there for some of the gatherings where Jesus did appear. He was one of the last people to see Jesus. And
Well,
he
most
wanted
of
to
the
see
other
him.
disciples were. Who was it?
He wasn't
Who
in
was
some of
with
the
Jesus when
gatherings.
Jesus was dying? It was his mother,
John.
Saint.
John.
Yeah.
John was there.
I was gonna say Saint Andrew. Is it Saint Andrew?
I'm not sure. John was definitely there because
He
he
was
said.
there.
Who was at the foot of the cross? He
Guys,
said,
bad.
guys, Bible, Bible alert.
Peter
let's go.
definitely was there at one point.
No, Peter got the cock crowed.
Peter left.
Peter ran.
He
was
said-
crying.
he said
Peter
bye.
came back. forgiven because Peter came back
Peter
and
did not
apologized.
come back.
Peter apologized.
Peter, so Jesus' mother Mary and John the disciple.
Yeah, John.
Peter was
John.
Oh, Bible
One
of the
second,
year.
1 second.
I need to do Bible. I always get up to like
I'm
up to
really
March
not.
and I stop.
We just cried
I'm
about
so
it.
inconsistent. I think the thing is, I try, but then I listen to it like a podcast sort of thing, like
Yeah.
something in the background, and I'm not
I'm
really
not
paying
paying
attention.
So you know what I did is like I found like a Bible study plan, and it's
Get a notebook.
no, it's thematic. So basically, all the different passages they put for each day is linked with each other. So you have to find the interpretations between how they link with each other. So I started doing that, but I realized that for Bible study to really understand the words, you need to put a lot of time on the side.
Yeah.
If you don't place that time, that separate Bible study time, you're gonna either end up rushing or not even attempting to do it because it's too long to do. So again, I feel like the discipline part comes in. You really need to set aside time to do the Bible study. Otherwise, you're gonna be reading stuff and then you don't.
Yeah, you don't
understand.
know what's going
You
on.
don't know what's going on.
I feel like I've got what for me personally. I have like a rough idea of like things. Like I hear a story and I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds familiar, but I wouldn't be able to like maybe tell it off by heart or something like
or
that.
quote it.
Or quote it.
Course is so important.
I
It's-
think if you asked me like when I was 12, because I read the like especially the
Not
Gospels.
that you have to anyway,
Yeah.
but you
No,
know.
you
Now
don't
it's
have
been
to.
so
You don't have to
long.
break it.
Like I
Yeah.
feel like with life has gone by, we've kind of neglected so much of like just spending time. When we have so much time to ourselves now, our parents are not telling us, we're not with them, they're not telling us do this, do this, do this. I think like you take it upon ourselves to like.
Definitely.
Because
Yeah.
like I feel like when I was working at Holland and Barrett, when I was working, leave it there, the places anyways. When I was working there, this guy tried to evangelize to me. I think he was Jehovah's Witness. And I was like, I'm not gonna lie, like I'm working right now, so if you could not evangelize right now, I'm not being funny, but like the store is really busy, you're talking to me about Christ. I know Christ.
Yeah.
But he was saying like, oh, like what religion are you? And I was like, I'm Catholic, and he was talking to me about, but you guys pray to Mary, and you guys have saints.
yeah.
Guys, honestly, if I had not read my Bible or done my research on those particular questions, I would have started stuttering in front of
Yeah.
It's a common thing,
It's a common thing,
misconception.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's so important to, even if you're not reading the Bible as frequently, find the answers for the foundation of our faith.
Yeah.
So that if someone were to question you, not like test you, but if someone was just generally curious, oh, why do you guys do this as Catholics? You're able to give them an answer, because then it also, you look silly basically.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure in the Bible it says somewhere, I don't know if it was Peter or something, but you need to be ready to answer. Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
need to
you
be-
are.
Yeah.
You know?
Peter or
It was
Paul?
Peter.
Peter or Paul,
I think it
yeah.
was Peter.
Like, yeah.
Because
That just
even
came to
like
my mind.
when
yeah.
Father was saying like you need to have authority in the way you speak,
Mm.
because like Jesus had that same authority. You need to also be able to use your words to say, okay, but this is how it is and this is what I believe in. Otherwise, then what do you believe in?
Yeah,
What is your stance
exactly.
on your
You're
faith
just
then?
Yeah.
Like,
have no
You just so are you
foundation,
really
yeah.
faithful, or you're just following because this is what you've grown up with?
Yeah.
Especially if you claim.
I mean, it starts there. Not gonna lie, it
Yeah, it
starts
does
there,
start.
but it needs to grow.
It's up to you
Yeah.
to now
needs to develop.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
Yeah.
no one's making you go to church. You're not
Yeah.
getting presents. You're the own confession. Like I have a core memory. My first confession, they gave us crunchy. They had the chocolate. They gave, like I thought that was going to be the thing. Like genuinely.
Yeah.
Yes. This is in the UK because
Oh,
I
this
was
is
like
different,
8,
yeah.
and like they'd give us a reward after the confession. I was like, so you get chocolate. Yeah.
No way.
Sign me up.
Confession
every day.
Yeah.
But like they don't do that.
Oh my
So like you kind of have to use your own initiative to like go and like do it yourself. Especially now as we're older. I think we're more aware. As like a child,
Yeah,
I don't think
so
it was
different.
that deep.
When you actually understand
Yeah.
the
Maybe it's
importance.
like child.
Like
I'm
what you're
sorry
saying.
if you're sensitive,
Yeah.
so don't-
As a child, you're just like,
Do you want to see
I
the video?
Yeah.
I was like, I talked about my friend. Oh, I was rude to my mum. Oh, I talk back.
Yeah.
Like you say stuff like
Yeah,
that. But as you
yeah.
get older, I feel like your sins get a bit more advanced.
Yeah.
You get a
more
bit
advanced.
I had to write about the full 10 years of my existence. I had to try and remember, like, remember from back in the day, what did you wrong?
So when I was
Your
when I was
first
crying,
I'm very attention seeker.
No. What you think is a sin. What you think you did wrong. Like,
But doesn't really? But like, does
but
that
generalizing it. It's not as specific as now where we know the last time we confessed. And to now, like, we know, like, the specific stuff we've done. But, like, we, like, had to go try and remember everything you've done and say sorry since you can't remember.
Well, I was
Yeah, I try to do the same. Like, if you don't remember your sins, you can't really.
Yeah,
you just have to say.
You can
like,
say like, oh, and I confess all the sins that I may have forgotten.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's about how you prepare for your confession.
But guys, can I just ask? I want to ask a question.
Yeah.
So when it comes to stuff like confession, Bible study, going to church regularly, do you think the people around you have instilled those values enough for you? So like, for example, there's some people who grew up with their parents, well, maybe forcing them to do Bible study every Sunday. But do you think that would benefit us all if we were taught from a young age how to analyze the Bible, how to read the Bible, instead of us just hearing Bible quotes? I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think.
But then, like, you get to this age and you're like, wait, how do I even read the Bible? Because it's like, who has taught you? Do you get what I'm saying? Do you feel like you're taught enough in, like, not even just your parents, but people around you?
Definitely.
Do you think,
I think there needs to be like a talk about catechism as well, the way they teach Catholic faith to children. Maybe that's
especially here in the West.
Especially
because I got that when I was back
Especially here.
Especially here.
Because the way, like, I think,
Yeah.
because tradition's such a big part of it, but people are abandoning it so much. Like, growing up at home is part of the tradition. It's such a big part of Catholic Church. Is how traditions are passed down, like, of how to raise your children, because that's how you are. That's your first point of contact with God.
Contact with faith, yeah.
It's your
Definitely.
It's your family and like your surroundings. So it's important how you're raised.
Yeah.
Similar in like Nigeria, like my auntie, like who's nun, she has an orphanage and they have to go to mass every morning. Like it's now just part of their daily routine now.
So for example, you gave the example of how like your auntie does like mass every morning for the people.
I mean, she is a nun, so
Yeah. But do you
She
feel
has
like
to attend mass every morning.
exactly? But is people who do that, are they telling the children this is why? Like,
That's
do you get what I'm
valid.
saying? Because like my mom would be like, oh, you have to go to church on Sunday, you have to go to church on Sunday. And at the times where like when I was younger, obviously you're thinking it's not that deep. Like if I don't go to church, why am I that it's not that deep?
Yeah.
But do they take the time to explain to you the importance of mass and what happens at mass and stuff? Or they just tell you have to do this? Because you give something with no explanation, you don't understand.
You don't get it.
That's very
And
true.
that's
Then
why
you-
see a lot of people in uni, they don't go to mass.
They don't
That's
go
very
there.
They don't
true.
go to mass when they're back home.
That's very
But-
true.
Do you know what I
Sunday
mean?
school. I think that's important. Actual proper Sunday school. We have exams and stuff, you know. They made us do exams and everything.
Okay.
On the like,
In Nigeria, before you do Holy Communion, you have to pass an exam.
we had to pass
Oh,
an
I
exam.
had to do that as well.
Did you? Here?
Because before Holy Communion, yeah.
Oh, here you
Yeah.
don't. Here
Here it's like
Oh,
2 months of catechism.
No,
that's it, yeah.
That's it.
I had it every
Yours was a
year.
year. Mine was not a
Mine
year.
was a year.
In the UK?
Yeah.
Yours was a
Of
year.
Communion.
Of Holy Communion. Yeah.
Yours was a year.
Wow.
Mine
And
was
then,
not a
so
year.
what happens is
Yeah.
like my cousin, he is not Catholic, so he's now entering like for his Holy Communion. He has to do 2 years.
Oh wow! So like a bit of RCA. Is it RCA?
Yeah,
RCA
RCA, I
is
guess
for
so.
adults.
Oh. Something similar.
It's
Similar.
a kids version.
Yeah. So this is just Holy Communion, but you do it.
Is he
every-
baptized even?
Yeah, he's baptized, but he hasn't. That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Because if he's not,
Yeah. No, I think he got baptized at like a couple of You know what? I have to look
I'm sure he would be baptized if he's gonna go.
Yeah.
For
Or
communion.
they'll be
But
organising
he's
it.
just
to
a bit
happen.
older, so. And
Actually,
he didn't go to
I
a
think
Catholic
they do it
primary
sometime.
school, that's why.
Yeah, they do it
He
all
said
the
they
same.
do it all
And
the same.
confirmation
He
and
goes to a
everything,
Catholic
yeah.
primary school, so they don't have
Okay.
any like person to say, oh, does he know about this or don't about that.
But I wanted to touch on what you said about, oh gosh, what was it again?
How we
The
read,
Bible,
yeah.
like how we read the Bible or something. I also struggle with that. Like, how do you read the Bible? It's so like.
I think going in with intention, I think is in like certain parts of the Bible.
But even if you go in
stuff.
with intention, like the Bible is so.
The
Like,
Bible,
it's how do I even explain?
parts.
There's
No,
like
no, but see,
poetic
the
parts.
Bible is so intimidating.
Yes.
It's 1,000 words plus. You
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
read
It's a
myself
it's,
up.
it's a library.
What do
It's
I
called the
read?
Bible. It's a library of books.
Yeah.
So
But-
you get into, you don't, where do you even
Where
start?
do you
You're
even
just
start?
so-
Yeah.
From the beginning.
I think Romans is a good place to
Fair
start.
enough. From the beginning.
Yeah, Gospels.
Yeah, but look,
Gospels.
But look how you had
Yeah.
to tell me that Romans is the place to start. Why has no one told me that Romans is the place to start?
I think the
Because
best
I go on the
place-
internet, someone said James is the place to start because that is where you learn the morals and values of how Jesus. People are saying, oh, but if you start from Genesis, you learn from the beginning.
Ayele,
But people
point,
even
actually.
the beginning is like
Yes.
etymology and history. People will get bored. I don't know how to explain
But
it,
if
but
you've
there's
never
so
read the
much
Bible-
big words in the beginning.
Yeah.
You just like, what's even going
And
on?
especially if you
no,
go
the
in-
best place, Gospels.
the
Yeah.
Gospels,
Best
yeah.
place to start for Bible, Gospel.
Yeah.
If you've never read the Bible before, that's where I kind of struggle with.
Yeah.
If I need to,
Gospel.
give
Just
an
look
advice
at
to a
Jesus'
friend.
life. Gospel.
But
Well, look,
I feel like you can't just start with
You
gospel.
have to
You
know
can't.
Because then the Old Testament makes
It's
no
important,
sense.
yeah.
It's
Very
important.
important.
Yeah.
I think you need to know Adam and Eve though before you go into anything else.
And how do you explain to
have
somebody about Adam and Eve who's never read the
Yeah.
Bible? It's so confusing. And Revelation, my gosh.
Yeah.
Revelation, I
What
think it's put at
is
the end for a
happening?
reason.
Oh, like we'll start off. I think lots of time we put too much pressure on ourselves. Just start off very slowly. Also, we're very lucky. We have someone like Father Mike Schmitz.
Oh yeah.
Listen to what he's saying about
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
If you want, read the passage and then listen to the Bible in a year. That particular one, it's only 20 minutes, and you'll have a good explanation.
Yeah.
Or also go on Google Catholic answers. Lizzie's answers,
Oh, plug.
Attend retreats.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Retreat.
It's very good
If you
for a
have the
new
opportunity.
I
person.
need a retreat actually.
Yeah.
I want to go to Walsingham.
But they were walking
But
like,
this is what I mean, guys. I did it for my confirmation, and we had the trip there. But people were taking the piss. People were there and giggling and laughing.
Yeah.
Are you really understanding the importance of this holy now? And
Yeah,
it's like
that's
people-
what I think. Good
People
catechism.
are forcing, not forcing. Well,
Good
yes,
formation.
parents are forcing their children to do this, do that because it's just rite of passage.
Yeah.
But if your child is not interested, why is it that you haven't gone through to explain this is important? Do not take the mickey.
Yeah.
It's not a for like. Why are you laughing during the rosary?
Yeah.
This guy had his hood up. Because I think it was one of the nuns. They had like their hoods on, but someone was wearing all black and had a hood on, and they were making jokes. Oh my God, there's a Dementor. Oh my, there's Harry Potter. I'm like, guys, Hail Mary, full of grace, Lord is with you. Like, come on, like, can we do that?
You're showing no grace
God.
here.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's like.
Yeah,
What I've experienced from confirmation and Holy Communion is that people are not serious. People are
In
just
masses.
there for vibes.
That's why formation.
School masses.
Oh, I was gonna say
School
secondary
masses.
school was
School
a
masses.
serious thing. Oh my goodness! No, it was actually so like you'd see like Holy Communion on the floor.
That's
Like, it was-
crazy.
Pardon?
Yeah,
On the
I'm not
floor
joking.
Yeah,
I'm not joking.
You're-
That was
That's
funny.
disrespectful.
My school would never. Because
not
we were run by
joking.
nuns.
We
they're not paying
weren't.
that.
We weren't. I went to a school
Yeah.
in London,
It was a girls' school.
a girls' school. You can
Yeah.
infer where you went
All
with
the
that.
girls' schools are mostly in London anyway.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
are Catholic girls' schools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we used to have mass, and there was like 2 sections, and then I remember like people would joke about it. I don't know, because it wasn't just the priests give out Holy Communion; it'd be like some of the teachers as well, and some of them didn't like actually check see people were actually
Ministry.
taking it.
Oh.
Yeah.
So,
So
Some
like there was
sisters
some
were
people that, oh, I
used.
dropped it on the floor, I left it there, or when like father would like pick it up.
Why are you receiving it?
That's what I'm saying. People
How
don't.
are
People
you
don't
receiving
realize
and
it. People
that's
don't
honestly,
know.
it's just so heartbreaking. Like
Yeah.
that's why I always wonder, like, why would Jesus let himself be treated like this? I don't
And that's when
understand.
you realise that is the greatest act of love anyone can do. because
Yeah.
You're giving yourself to people who don't even rate you.
They don't rate
He
you
got
still.
killed by his own people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But out of love.
And if you
I would
Barabbas,
never be able.
Barabbas,
Barabbas.
Barabbas, a whole scene, a whole
Like, I would
criminal.
never be able to.
Didn't he
You can
murder?
never comprehend that.
Yes, he was a criminal.
But then all this happening, like, with not being able to, if you receive the communion wrong, first of all, if you have lessons,
I think
why
there's
is it
something.
that you've
Yeah.
not listened? Why is it that all these lessons that you've taken, you still decided to just dash on the floor like
It's a
just
joke.
and also, someone has not put in the significance. It's consecrated.
Yeah.
It's no
It's
longer.
the body of
It's
Christ.
no longer a wafer. It is the body
It's
of
the
Christ
flesh of
and the
Christ.
blood. It's not.
Sorry, it's a cardiac muscle.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's literally the cardiac muscle. It's been done so many times, like where it has turned for multiple days, weeks after. It's like where
There's
it's
so many
come out.
Eucharistic
Yeah.
miracles.
There's so many.
Yeah.
So many scientific. It's the cardiac muscle of a man in his 30s.
And I was saying, I think when we last time we were together, I was like, sometimes priests forget to mention if you're not Catholic or if you're not,
Yes.
or if you
yes.
haven't had your first communion yet.
Yeah.
don't take
Oh,
it.
if you're not in a state of
also-
grace, because
Yeah.
no one is entitled
If
to
you're
receive
not-
Jesus
yeah,
if you're not in a
true.
state of grace. If you're not Catholic and in a state
If
of
you're
grace,
not
you shouldn't
prepared
receive.
to receive, and if you're
Yeah.
not confessed, don't come. Yeah.
Yeah, fact. Sometimes they forget to mention
Because
it.
even I've done it, not in a full state of grace. I feel like sometimes
Yeah.
we do it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that comes from a sense of maybe lack of humility, because now
Yeah.
you think that, oh yeah,
It
but
was desperation.
even though I'm like this,
At least I'm here.
no one's forcing you to be here.
One time for me was pure desperation. I needed that to feel close to God.
Yeah, sometimes people.
But it's
do
not
that,
good.
yeah.
But
You
it's
have to,
not,
like,
yeah.
No,
it's
but
not
what-
right.
And I see
You
sometimes-
ate
Well,
with the humility bit.
Yeah, because
for
now
sure.
you're thinking, but it's not that deep. It was one sin. Like, came to church late, but I can still do it.
People do worse. No,
Yeah.
don't compare yourself
At
to
least
worse
I didn't.
people.
Mm.
That's one thing I think
Yeah.
people in
Do you
general
want to be in the
need
same
do,
place as them?
That's-
including
Yeah.
me. Like,
Including
let's
me.
let's compare
Oh my
yourself
gosh,
to the
yeah.
best, so which is
Definitely.
Jesus. Don't compare yourself to the worst of the worst. Let's not do that.
Yeah.
Because life is meant to be a cross. So if you're not willing to carry it, be prepared.
Get better shoes. Come on, guys. Let's.
I think there's somewhere I read, I don't know who said it, some saint said it, but you either carry a cross for Jesus or you carry the cross for the devil, I think.
Okay.
Something like that.
Oh, come on.
But yeah, anyways, that's
scary.
one of them.
No, but that's. Ooh.
Yeah.
And remember, who would you want to carry? Because someone who loves you, someone who doesn't.
Yeah.
Also, at the end of this, if you carry a cross for Jesus, you're going to be rewarded. You're going to have, be there in heaven. If you carry the cross for the devil, you're going to end up being a slave in hell.
And hell's hot. Very hot.
Or cold.
Very
you
hot.
know. Could be
Yeah.
very...
I swear it's hot.
There's different depictions of hell. In the Bible, it says something like it's like a wasteland.
Yeah.
Some people say that it's cold and stuff. So.
I forgot. There's something.
Do you know how interesting that would be if you
The-
get to hell and it's actually cold?
Oh, whoa, not us. Please, not us.
Not us,
We're
not us.
aiming for
We're
heaven.
humans.
We are aiming for heaven.
This is what Lent is all about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Aiming for heaven.
We're aiming for
Focusing on
And
heavenly
also,
things.
it just helps you acknowledge what tempts you to do stuff. When you fast from stuff, you realize, okay, this thing is stopping me from being close to God. It helps you
Yeah, and
find
it helps
out-
you know yourself.
It helps you know
better.
yourself. You find
That's-
out a lot
yeah.
more about yourself, and you realize, okay, so I
Because
can
you
do
allow
this, I
yourself
can't
to
do
feel
this.
feel God more.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the
And
thing,
you're
allowing
closer
God
to
in.
Him because the food is not keeping you away from Him. So now you're just trying to even social media and how girl.
Or even fitness. Like, you know the Black Catholic, there's a YouTuber.
Oh,
called
Black
the-
Catholic chick.
That's
I
her. The
think,
Black.
yeah.
She talks about how fitness can become a whole idol
Yes,
itself.
Yeah.
I saw this.
That was so interesting.
And it said the gym is your
The
idol.
gym
I
can be an
said,
Because it's
idol. Your
narcissism
body.
as well.
Your body. Because you're
It is,
supposed to. Because she was saying how the quote is, your body's temple of the Holy Spirit, which is true.
temple,
Which is why we have to keep healthy and stuff. However, don't
overdo it.
come and overdo it. Don't let your whole life revolve around it.
Because I was looking at what was funny is I was seeing some girl talk about how she fasts, but as like a gym girl. Obviously, when you go to the gym, you need to eat a lot because you'll expending so many calories.
How does she do
So
that? then?
exactly. So she was like,
That's also
Some
sacrifice
people-
to cut it down.
yeah, exactly. So because you're not gonna reach your goals as soon as you want to because you're not eating as much. And she was like, honestly, when you're trying to gain muscle, one day is not your muscles are not gonna deflate. But if you just one day of fasting a week,
Yeah.
your muscles are going
Shouldn't
anywhere.
affect
That's
that
not the
much.
way biology works. So
Yeah.
if you're thinking that way, then that means that your
Also-
body and your goals is becoming your idol.
Yeah.
Is that really God's will for you to get muscles? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's prioritize.
Because when
and
you
do stuff.
die,
Is
you get the
You're just
muscle.
gonna care.
oh, you're great. You're gonna say, oh yeah, she was a muscle babe. She was a muscle mummy. No, it's not gonna say that.
No, that's true. That's true.
But it's just important to find that balance. Don't let one become more than the
Yeah.
other. Yeah.
No, for sure.
So you know how we obviously don't understand who Saint Valentine is if he exists.
Yeah,
But I
we're
feel
kind
like
of.
if we're still going
We
to
didn't get like a
yeah,
concrete.
I don't know. And the fact is, I went on Catholic.com, so I don't.
Oh.
We're gonna have to talk to Fafi about that.
Yeah. Oh no.
But I feel like at least we can talk about maybe love in Christianity.
Yes.
Yes, I was about to talk
yeah.
about that. Yeah.
Maybe leave Saint Valentine to do his thing and
Chastity and
listen.
everything.
Chastity, all of that.
All we can do.
Good relationships. So what about it? What do you
So how do you guys how would you define how Christians should act in like relationships, so godly relationships? How would you
Or
navigate with that?
maybe we should start with the basics. What is love? you know.
You
Sacrifice.
tell me.
Yeah.
You tell
I
me.
wouldn't. I don't know.
What is
In
that?
what context?
Really?
You
Yeah,
don't. I don't know.
I think romantic way.
Yeah, but that's what I'm
Valentine's Day.
saying.
Oh,
So like,
we do both. Friendship.
What is love?
We are friends.
No,
fam.
yes.
yeah, I think relationship isn't just romantic relationship.
Yeah,
Isn't,
friends,
yeah.
yeah.
So what is love? Okay, what is love to each person? Like, you start.
You go, Kay.
Kay,
Kay,
go on.
you
You
introduced
introduced it. Go on.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just it's such a broad thing to speak about. You can't really.
How do you think you're loving?
Who?
You.
No, who?
To anyone, like how do you think you should
What do you
love?
think love is?
What's your love
is it?
language?
Can someone give a model answer so
Okay.
I can?
Or whatever.
Actually, yeah, no. You,
Just say what you feel. Well,
okay,
you
for
know,
example,
what you
how
think.
do you show like love to your best friends? Is it like spending time with them? Do you like?
Guys, I'm not gonna lie. I pray for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
that's
the-
something.
that's-
I feel
is-
like
That is,
For
I would
love,
say that is the
you show
highest
love differently
form
to
of
different people.
Yes.
Maybe.
love.
So like the way you show love to a spouse is not the way you show love to your parents. Maybe. You're not gonna give them a snog. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm just trying to give like an example, but like I feel like if you
What a nasty word. Sorry. Go on. Sorry.
if you're not like you like show appreciation for them and show how like you want to help them. Oh god.
I think
that's
what-
a
what
hard
the-
No,
thing
that
to
is
love.
good. That's valid. That's what you
Yeah.
think. That's
Yeah.
good. You know what? After this round, we'll search what love is.
Yeah, I
What
think-
does the Catholic Church say about
Isn't
love?
it
I think it's
here?
different with people.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Come on, you cats.
Come on.
You cats. What is it? What is it?
Show it to
You
me.
cat.
Catholic
It's a youth catechism. Youth catechism.
Youth Catechism.
Yeah.
Yeah, she ate that.
Yeah.
It's basically more of a version that's more dedicated to the youth. Of like it's like a more
Simpler
brief
language.
version
Yeah,
of the Catechism
for
of the
young
Catholic
people.
Church for younger people.
Just
Yeah.
simpler language.
Alright, so what do you think love is, Angela?
Love. I think it's
We'll look
different.
into it. It'll be a surprise
Okay.
after, you know.
Love is meant to be giving when you're truly in love with someone, not just romantic. Parents, friends. If you genuinely do, it's meant to be giving more than receiving. You are, even if you want to receive, you will be more giving. You want to give more. But obviously, at the end of the day, we are built. God did build us. We are meant to also receive it as well. Because let's be honest, in our relationship with us and God, we are at more advantage of receiving more love. Just like that, with family, okay, with parents, usually tend to be you are more of in the advantage position because you are receiving it.
Right.
Of it. I don't think you could ever, in my opinion, love your parents on a. If it is like a normal family setting, obviously there's so many differences. Like everyone's life is different, but I think the way your parents love you is different because it's so much more giving. We could never I think love our parents the way they love us. Like they are so giving. Like we are in a way their priority, of course, after themselves. Like their relation with each other. I think the first time you genuinely learn how to give more love is with friends. Because it's like the first people that you meet on the outside, where it's not like God didn't give them to you like from day one. You're not like in a relationship with them from day one.
Yeah.
So that's when you learn, and I think through friends and being in the world for a little while, you learn how to give love in a romantic way as well.
That's a good point. That's a good point. For me, I would say love is patience. Love is
Yes.
kind. Love is, I'm joking. Well, I'm not
It is
joking.
true.
It is true. It's in the Bible.
It is patience.
Yeah. But personally, I would say love is. I think I'm just quoting from somebody else again. Love is willing the good of the other. But then there's also a problem with saying that because good in this day and age is subjective. So if you don't, if you say good, somebody else could think good is something that actually isn't good.
More like in
So-
terms
But
of like the morals.
how do you define your morals? Is that the morals of the Bible, or because I feel like if there's a set,
But that's what
if there's a set of
that's my
morals,
point.
you know.
Yeah, that's my point. So if you don't have like an established set of morals that everybody agrees on, then it's kind of hard to say good, because then good doesn't mean.
What's your good and what's mine?
Well, yeah, what's your good and what's mine? Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Love is willing the good of the other. Yeah.
Similar to what Angela said, it's about like putting the other person first. Also calling them out on things.
Yes.
If things are wrong, if things
Mm-hmm.
are bad, telling them being honest, telling them as it is.
Charitably, but you know.
But I think what you do is like you always say, you're one of the people who know how to say it really well. You say it in a
Thank
kind
you.
way.
Thank you. Yes, I always say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah, being honest, being kind, supporting them, but with levels to it. Like supporting them if you know it's a good thing, if it will help them grow as a person in a good way, help them get closer to God. Yeah, but I think it's subjective.
You think love is subjective?
Yeah, people's definition.
Definition.
But there's a
Respect
common ground with it, and it just means to acknowledge how much you like someone, right?
I think love has utmost respect. I think some people have a weird version of love where they don't have respect for a person. It's just like an obsession. And it's just what they
Then
want.
that's not love, is it?
Respect is very important in love, and I think we've been taught that by God.
Let's focus on love. I think there's different types of love. I believe in Greek.
Yeah,
there's
like
You have it.
agape, storge. Oh, you have it. Let's go.
So I'm looking at the UCAT. The definition of love says that love is the free self-giving of the heart. So to have a heart full of love means to be so pleased with something that one emerges from oneself and devotes oneself to it. So for example, a musician will put their all into their music because that is what they love. It says here the most beautiful form of love on earth, however, is the love between man and woman. And this is, all human love is an image of divine love in which all love is at home. And that's how they describe the love between a man and woman. Yeah.
Is it because, I think I've heard it somewhere, is it because it's like an imagery of what
Yeah.
God's relationship is
Yeah.
like or something, because it's...
because it's not something
So
that
the
was
more a
set
person,
standard.
the more a person loves, the more they resemble God. That's what it says.
Yeah.
there.
Because you know, with family love, like with your parents and you were like you came from your parents. They love you so much, and you knew them from like day one. Like it's your blood. But with like
the people
when it's
you
a
don't know,
romantic way,
yeah.
you're choosing that person who was just someone from this world, and who you are also just someone from this world, and you're coming together and you're promising till death do us apart.
Kind of similar with friends as well, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
you said.
You don't promise as much with friends. I think friends train you.
There's some friends that become sisters.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like it depends on what degree of friendship you're talking about. Because
Yeah.
if it's your course mate, maybe.
Yeah.
But if it's like someone.
What
you
is
grew
a
up
true
with-
friend? That's the thing.
Yeah.
I
But
think in
think-
uni, it's someone who you hang out with outside of lectures. That's how I classify you as a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you like message each other, you check up on
Yeah,
each other.
exactly.
That's how I.
And you want to hang out with them. You genuinely don't want to then go out with them.
Yeah.
But I think with friends and thingy, sorry, just like,
No, go ahead. Yeah.
the thing with the romantic love, if you're thinking about in a religious perspective, and I think how we should be living our life, is you're meant to be putting that man or that woman above everyone else, including your children.
Yeah, I've heard about this.
Really?
You are.
Yeah.
You have
'cause-
responsibility towards them when they're very young, but you are meant to be. You're meant towards each other. It's meant to be more than your children. Obviously, you have responsibility, especially when they're really young. Your children towards them, but you are meant to be choosing each other
Yeah.
above everyone
That's
else,
interesting.
according
because
to the God.
I feel like there's.
I've heard about this.
That's interesting because I feel like when it comes to love, it's not really quantifiable. So like you say that, oh, I love my husband more than my children. I feel like it should be maybe you love your husband in a different way than your children, and maybe it makes it seem as if it's more. But I don't think there's an amount of love you can give, because now that you're consciously saying, oh, I'm giving too much love, not too much now.
You're meant to choose them. That's what I'm saying. You're meant to choose them. At the end of the day, above like thingy. Not in a dumb way when they're making very dumb decisions, and like not in a very stupid way, in a wise way.
But why are you choosing between different types of love?
Because you promised that.
Well, different.
In front of
No,
God.
what you just said. You love your husband in a different way
Yeah,
than you love
different
your
way.
children or your mother, or it's just different.
It's
I think
types
it's just
of love.
different forms, but not a choice.
Yeah.
It is a choice though. With the biggest choice that you do is that's the thing about marriage is you're choosing.
Choosing to
Till
love.
de-
Yeah, I
Six
understand
children,
that.
yeah,
But if you're
it's
comparing it to
choosing
your
between
children,
kids, I
and
get
yeah,
what you mean.
it's not. I don't think it's a thing where.
I don't think Angela.
not
Well, correct me if I'm
comparison,
wrong.
it's not
Yeah, I don't
comparison.
think she means
It's
like
not comparison.
you choose to love your husband exclusively.
No,
you
no,
know,
no,
like,
no, no.
and then
But you have
Not
like
love your children.
you have a responsibility towards your children and you have a responsibility towards your husband. But
You're both right.
meant to, like,
It's
a
you just
different
love in a
type of way
different
you
way.
intend it.
Yeah, and actually, did it mention there's different types of love? There's like agape, there's storge, which is the love you have for your children, eros, which
The
is
romantic.
erotic love.
You have to say it that way, didn't you?
Eros, erotic. That's where it comes from. That's where it comes from.
Okay.
But anyways,
it does, doesn't it?
yeah.
Which one's the one?
Filial,
That's a friendship.
friendship.
Why are you
Agape.
reading books?
Agape is like the
all loving.
unconditional.
Yeah.
That's the one that's the love God has for
Still
all of
loving.
mankind.
So when it comes to like godly relationships in marriage and like maybe courting, someone said that Christians need to be courting instead of dating, and I think it makes a lot of sense.
What is courting? What is
So like
dating?
you date with the intention of marrying that person instead of like thinking.
Seeing where it goes.
Yeah.
Dating sounds more like a game.
Yeah, 'cause
I
it
mean,
is-
that's just a play of words. I think. Well, what a play of words? I don't know. That's just a different way of saying. I don't even know what I'm
Not
trying
really.
to say. I'm
It's
so
not. I
tired.
think it's become so thing where like dating is like it can be anything. You can be dating for
it
life.
really.
Well, if you're
the concept of
dating to
dating is-
marry, you're dating with intention.
Courting is literally
That's
said
what-
is dating to marry. It's serious business.
I think it's just different ways of saying it. It depends on the person. You could say
I mean,
dating.
it all
you could
depends
say
on how you live
courting.
your life.
I mean, if you're Catholic and you are dating, I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. It depends. I think it's
It's
personal. Like,
not a bad
thing
thing.
either.
yeah.
But I think they were just saying that there's a lot of Christians out there who just date for fun.
You should date with intention anyway.
not for
Like, you
fun,
shouldn't
yeah.
date for fun.
Yeah.
I just think if you're gonna date to marry, you call it courtship.
But
Fine.
don't
If
date
you
to
call it
stress you
dating,
out.
fine.
Don't
Don't
so
date
serious
for-
stress
yeah.
you out.
No.
Like have like go in
Yeah.
with like
But what sorts
Oh,
of boundaries would you set in place so like you don't fall into temptation basically?
Oh, this is very
Because it's hard. There's a lot of
very
couples out
interesting
there.
topic.
You see a lot of testimonies and like, oh, like we fell into sin before we got married. It was very hard. But what would you do in order to make it a godly relationship, basically?
So I would say before you start dating, when you're already in that
talking stage.
talking stage,
Oh, I
or
hate that word.
I hate that
trying
word.
to get to know
When you're
each
in the
other.
talk-
trying to get to know each other before you're boyfriend and girlfriend, I think you need to have a serious discussion and establish your boundaries. Boundaries may look different for different people. Some people may have been hurt in the past, maybe, or have had sexual experiences or something. So what could affect somebody sexually, it may not be the same for somebody else. So maybe hand-holding could be bad for someone, or kissing or things like that. So you just need to establish these things at the beginning of the relationship. And then always, and continue, I think it's very
Review
important.
it.
Huh?
Give it a little review once in a while.
Yeah, review,
monthly
yeah.
review.
Monthly review.
But how
Yeah, I
many-
need to.
What's too much? What's too little?
I should probably look into that.
Oh.
Oh.
No, it's important.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
important.
So what went well? What
I'm back to
Come on,
English.
English.
But yeah, I think it's important to just remember why you're dating as well.
And I think also remember, like, try and get on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
So that.
Yo, you need to make sure you're on the same page. If you're not on the same page,
Where are
What
you?
is
zero.
Do you
From
want to
that
go
day.
to the
all together.
I
No.
think it's also important to just remember, I think, any kind of relationships you have, to think the temptations, is it for myself or is it for the feelings I have towards that person?
Yeah.
And is it both? And how to like separate it? Because sometimes the temptations is like, I think sometimes it's for your own satisfaction.
Exactly. And this plays into well. Are you really loving the person or are you using them? You know, the opposite of love, I've heard, is use. It's not actually hatred. It's
You have lack of
use.
care.
Fine love.
yeah. It's indifference. You're just
Hatred
using...
means that you are like, you have feelings towards that person still, even if it's negative or positive.
Mm.
You are emotions towards them.
No, that
Your
is so
potential
true.
energy-
You're using them as an
Yeah,
object,
yeah.
something that...
Yeah. Your
It can
energy is
be
still invested in that
disposed.
person.
Yeah.
It's
Always.
energy to hate someone, isn't it?
You're taking time of your day and your energy and your mental
When you
strength.
see them, why is your face all...
By the way,
Why is it taking
I really recommend you guys listen to Theology of the Body Institute.
Oh, wait, no, I was
So
going to say
good.
John Paul's book.
Let me tell
Yeah,
you.
him too.
Yeah.
It's based on his book, I think. There's like I think it's an organization or something, where they speak about
You
how.
showed it to me, yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. Like how to have holy relationships, something like
Yeah.
that. Something like that. You should look
Sorry, I'm not
into it.
bored.
Can I also just say, guys, I feel like you can set certain boundaries and say, okay, don't do this so we don't do this, or let's prevent this by doing this.
Yeah.
But that person can switch up on you and can now decide, okay, but well, I don't want to do this. I don't want to have boundaries anymore.
Peace out.
Do you know
Peace
what I mean?
out.
Deuces.
Are they going to be
It's
switching off for the rest of your
okay.
life?
It's
then?
okay to let that person go.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're going to be
I
switching
know
off for the
when
rest of their life.
Catholic, you know, with
Of course.
Christians,
They didn't
like
do it in the
you,
beginning.
with Christians, you're like, but let's try. Let's
No,
try.
no, they're Christian.
Let's do this. Let's
If they're not
pray about
leading you-
it. Sometimes they pray, but sometimes it's not. You're not the person.
Let that man go.
Let the person go and
Yeah.
let them learn through someone else that maybe they need to.
Maybe
find
you're not the one to
If they're not leading you to holiness,
Yes.
Also, mistakes happen, but you can be forgiven. Just try.
Just
don't,
try.
Don't just dwell in your mistake.
Exactly.
Don't go, I've done it
Don't
now,
beat
let me continue.
No.
Now you're using it as an excuse. Now you're using it as an excuse.
Exactly.
It wasn't a
Yeah.
mistake then. Because
Exactly.
if I just started.
Now
I
it's a
can carry
choice.
on. Yeah, now it's a
Mhm.
choice, yes. Because even you think it's not possible, but even the person you're dating, that person is also a temptation. So if
Yeah.
they try,
Yeah.
if
We're all
they try to
human,
tempt you, don't make it seem, they could never, because they could.
They could.
Yeah.
They
Facts.
could. Please.
even yourself,
Listen.
when you're in any relationship, whether it's
Even friendships.
even friendships,
Oh,
that's what I was
yes.
gonna say.
Yes, wait.
Even friendships,
All
when
friendships
you're
too.
We'll get there.
in any
Go.
relationship, you should always think. Ideally, you should think, how can I get this person to heaven? You know, I think you need to be somebody that they can count on in their journey towards heaven. Really, that is a real test of if you really love somebody. Like, are you relationship wise? If you're, doing things because you want to feel a certain way, but you're not taking into consideration the soul of that person, because that person is not just a body. He's
Yeah, it's
a
a bit
body
like Adam
and a
and
soul.
Eve. It's a bit like Adam and Eve.
Mm.
Because Eve told Adam to like, and Adam should have been more thingy of saying no. Like, you should have been like at that point even like be more loving.
Yeah.
Not that Adam said they don't love each other. I'm sure they did. But like Eve should have not given like that apple that tempted him even more.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Adam knew. Adam was there in the beginning. Adam was the first person God said don't go eating this. And Adam should have been more. If you were more loving, don't do that.
No, yeah. But definitely. I just think love in general is really, like, we're really flawed as human beings. So loving properly is very hard. Like, how do I know in this moment I'm not using this person? Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Pray about it. Guys, prayer is the answer to everything. Honestly.
Yeah, honestly.
You think it's
That's
not,
so true.
but when you pray a lot about certain situations, the Holy Spirit really does guide you, and it will be in signs that you think it's not. It could be someone talking to you. It could be.
Oh
the
my
way-
days, I've had that happen
Yes.
to me.
And it
Recently,
shocks
and
you
I'm
when
like-
you realize that, like,
yeah, when you
that
realise
person was sent there to
Yeah.
help you.
it's kind of.
I think even all
crazy.
of us, like ourselves, and like just some things that we hear from like each other. I think God has put each other in our lives for that way. Because God speaks through people, and sometimes certain things some people say it's just for you to hear that you need to hear at that point that God wants you to hear.
Definitely. Yeah.
He also speaks through the Bible if you need guidance. The Bible
Yes, go there first.
Literally.
Lent, honestly, Bible.
You get like a spiritual advisor as well.
Yeah.
Oh my days, that is the number one. That is the number one. I've been saying it to people, and I've got one now. Thank God. Thank God.
Even like, for example, sometimes girls, we feel more comfortable speaking to women. Nuns, we're kind of
That's
lucky.
okay,
We
yeah.
have our sister, who's really, really amazing, really kind. You can speak to her because she was once us. She was a teenage, actually not teenagers. We're young adults. She was once a young adult, so she gets it.
I wish.
So yeah.
But you have to build up that courage as well. Just know that, like, sometimes you feel ashamed in your sins, and that's the devil trying to tell you that you're not worthy of forgiveness, but literally Jesus died for a reason. Like, I'm not saying you should sin, but if Jesus is dying for us just to free us from our sins, then that means that
we are
he sees potential in us.
Yeah.
He sees some potential in us that
with.
we can, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
he didn't do it because he had no hope in us. He wouldn't have done that, but he truly loves us. So we should take it as a sign of having that courage, going to confession, confessing your sins. Is like, you mess up, we're humans, where it's human to do that.
Yeah.
But as long as you try and get back on track and you don't let that stumble push you down.
By the
you
way,
just
side
bounce
note, sorry to interrupt, side note, do you guys get this, like what you just said, do you get moments where you're like, oh my gosh, why would Jesus die for me? That is so crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
Because,
I'm so, like, what, am I really worth that much? It sounds crazy to say out loud, but is it, why would you go through so much just for me? That
because
is,
it had to happen.
that is
There
so,
had to be a death to like for us to actually get anywhere.
yeah.
We're not going. We're not going to have
I don't know, it's
Like,
hard to,
Who are we? We're not
conceive
kings and
something.
queens. Do you get like
Yeah.
what sort of significance to be the son of God? You know, he's a king in heaven. Who are we? We're not even of that.
that's my point,
We
like,
literally
why
came
would he
from
do
dust.
that?
Because
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bit like, you know, remember like in the Bible, in is this Genesis or Exodus? Gosh.
In the Bible.
Abraham and Isaac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was asked to like kill his own son, make him a sacrifice, and he was willing to, even though it was so hard for him. And I think God just like, obviously like everything was planned beforehand. God knew what was going to happen, but I think God has tested like humans to see if he
And that's what I was
like,
saying. That level of love, we can try and reciprocate that level of love we have, that God has for us, but it's just not possible. His love is everlasting.
Yeah.
And
It's
it's
literally running from
unbounded.
him,
It's
love.
crazy because you can never do the same for that. So when you think about it, because I'm not being funny, but like if someone said carry a cross for how many yards, and someone
And for people who don't even
It's
like
hard.
you.
and someone hammers nails into your feet, I'll be like,
You're talking to the wrong person.
yeah. Like, guys, just remember, like, he was up there, he asked for water, they gave him vinegar. So on top of that, you have something sour in your mouth and there's a crown of thorns on your head.
That was
And
actually
you're
awful.
dying.
Listen,
There's
that's
blood
hard.
That was
everywhere.
actually crazy.
Who do you do that for? Who would you do that for?
Yeah.
They give us bitter juice. You know what bitter gourd is? They give us bitter juice on thingy, and the way all of us are like, after mass, after
What is
service,
bitter juice? What is that?
bitter gourd is like a really, really bitter vegetable. It's so bitter, it's called bitter gourd. But it's really bitter, and it's like when it's really, really raw, it's even more bitter. And basically they grind it into like a green juice, and it's so bitter. Oh my god, you get like your brain is shook. But after the service on Good Friday, they give it to us, and you have to like drink a little bit in memory.
Oh, of that.
That's such a good idea.
That is
Shocking.
Yeah. I don't know, the thing that comes to mind now is basically what I said. I'm just repeating myself, but it's just hard for us to imitate God's love. Like, especially knowing that you need to love your enemies. That is
shocking.
what?
It's
How do you do that? How do you
Deep
do
breaths.
It's a very much an oxymoron.
that? Yeah. And it's just it's very hard.
Listen, when you're like, it's already hard to like love like your relatives and your sisters and your friends fully, okay? Then to go love your enemy, it's a lot.
Yeah. And we're commanded to. It's not like it's optional. No, you have to.
When
you
we
have
love
to.
our enemies, is this like wishing them well in life, or as in like genuinely try and feel?
I was
love
thinking
them and
that,
feel
like,
good
I don't
for
know if this is a right interpretation, but like, your enemy has flaws just as you do. So if you're loving them, if you're giving yourself that same love when you mess up or make mistakes, you also need to show it to them as well, because they're also just as flawed. I don't know if that makes sense.
Think of
It's not like
Gethsemane, Garden of Gethsemane. Peter was like, shoo, somebody lost their ear.
yeah.
Jesus healed him.
I don't
and
think-
he prayed. He said, oh my God. Oh yeah, he said, forgive them, Lord, like forgive them, Father, because they don't know what they're doing.
That was
When
at
he
the
was
cross,
one of his
isn't it?
last, one of his last words on the cross.
Yeah. What I was gonna say to answer your question, I don't think we're supposed to be like, oh, he'll be in my life or things like that.
I mean,
especially if they're a threat to you, you can't,
Yeah.
no. But I think like praying for them,
wishing
and
them well-ish. Well, no.
Well,
wish them well.
I wouldn't want to wish somebody well if I don't genuinely.
No, as in like.
Wish them well,
wish them
like,
well.
within
Like, and like,
Yeah.
hopefully you get whatever they've done to you.
You
Hopefully
can't
you
be
get
cursing
better.
them.
Yeah.
You.
Well, I guess you are wishing them well.
Yeah. I mean, if
yeah.
you're loving them, you somewhat have a level of.
I feel like
Wishing
if
them.
you show
Mm.
that love, it's because you know that for a person to commit such an action, they're going through it. So if you just hate them, it's like you're not helping the situation. But what if they need that love in order to become better?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it's a very confusing.
Yeah.
I think some good examples are like some saints.
Oh, are you searching for what it says about
Yeah.
loving
Yeah.
enemies? Yeah.
So if
Maybe
you're
like
doing
example of
70%.
saints
Mm.
on how they love.
So yes, so
Saints.
Maria Goretti is a good one.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Speaking of love and that,
No.
her story.
Mother
Well, it's not a
Teresa.
love. It's not a love story, but it's and
Yeah.
It's loving.
yeah, it is. I know it is with the roses and
And all that.
yeah.
Because
good story.
the guy who committed the murder,
He did
murder,
murder,
yeah, the murder, he converted in the end, and he went to mass with the mother of
Yeah, that's I admire
mother.
the mother so much as well.
Saint what's the
Maria
name?
Goretti.
Saint Maria Goretti.
Yeah, we love her here. She's
That's-
great.
The level of forgiveness, like what? You
Yeah.
killed my child. I'm going to mass with you.
Yeah, I guess also because he'd
What?
seen her and she'd forgiven him. She was like, well, if she can forgive him,
Mm.
what's stopping me? But it must be hard. It must be so hard. I can't.
That
imagine
is
it.
definitely supernatural strength.
Yeah.
Right there.
And I think you can sometimes really like thing is like that is also God's child.
Mm. This might be a bit silly. Would Hitler have gone to hell then?
Okay, but would Judas have gone to hell?
Judas have gone to hell.
Judas went to hell.
Did you? I think Judas go to hell.
Judas,
I thought he did.
He took
Judas
his own
did.
life.
What?
I think he did.
Theory.
Because he took his
But
own life
guys,
and he never
what
repented.
No, he
He
did.
did.
That's why he took
He
his own
did.
life.
No, he repented
No, but he
because he
didn't-
felt sorry for himself and what he's done. He
Yeah.
didn't feel bad about what he did.
And he killed
No, he
himself.
didn't.
after.
No,
He did
he did
feel
because he
bad
wanted
for
to go
Jesus.
return the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to go try and return the money, and then they said no. Yeah, he felt bad for what he did. Remember, he
Not
tried to go.
because he
He was
felt
sorry
sorry
for
for
himself.
But I always...
He was
I
so
confused.
I don't know.
like he was so
Actually, I don't know.
Distraught.
he was so distraught.
Yeah.
that he killed himself because he was like, "Wow, Jesus, why would I do that?"
Not raw.
I just always
Yeah.
viewed it as it was for more like... Because the way they repented was so different.
Yeah. He didn't go to Jesus. He just
He
sort
could
of-
have. How?
Peter
He
did.
still expressed
In the end.
remorse.
in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Peter, but what Peter did was very different. As in, Judas actually
No,
sold
but
his boy
Peter's-
out.
Well,
Peter
betrayed Jesus.
was worse.
No,
Peter was worse.
No, but Judas gave Jesus up knowing that they'd already hated him. They wanted a reason. Peter did it out of fear. Judas chose to do that. Peter's one was out of fear.
I know, but Peter's one was worse, I think, because
Yeah, Judas
he
was
said,
small.
I will
Yeah,
Because
Judas
of
was
money.
greed.
Yeah.
Peter was fear of death. It's
I
different.
mean, they're both bad.
They're both
bad.
but it's different.
But I'd say
it's different.
Peter was like, Peter
Yeah.
said, I don't know you.
Yeah, that is.
It says, Jesus says in the Bible, like before he died away,
At
you're
his
just saying,
lowest
I don't
moment,
know you.
at his lowest moment, he
know
was
you.
like,
I have nothing to do
And
with
it's a
this.
shame, but if you see someone dying on a cross, and that person, do you know that guy? I don't think I do. Like,
That's worse.
you'd be
But
scared
guys,
as well
but
because
let's
you think
be-
you're also going
Let's
to
be, let's be
It's
very
weird,
real.
like you
If you're
said.
all put in this position and you knew that people were getting persecuted, be very for real,
It
guys.
takes a
Yeah.
lot of
And then
courage
you are
to be able
asked,
to-
do you know him?
yeah.
Would you
Okay, a natural
100%
reaction.
It takes a lot of
Probably
courage
do.
to be able to stand.
Oh, it does,
with
it does.
people.
100%.
Yeah.
Like all those people who are martyred, a lot of them are martyred solely for saying,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I'm a follower of Christ."
Yeah.
Would you be willing to get your head
Now.
Yeah.
Now?
You
in
would now.
society?
Now.
I think for me is I'm willing to die for Jesus. It's hard. I find it hard to live for Jesus.
Okay, that makes sense.
I don't know. I
You're
think
willing
it's
to
easy.
die.
I find it hard to live for
Because
Jesus.
when you
Every
die,
day,
it's-
the things I
you're
do
dead.
that are good, I find it harder. But I can give my life any day.
I think it's tricky. You can't. I feel like it's hard to say unless you're actually in
Right,
the position.
yeah.
Yeah, true. That
It's
is
very
unless
tricky.
you are like
Honestly, guys, I think we live in a bubble. So, we had a bit of a break,
Yes.
and now we're just gonna.
Some of us broke our fast.
Some of us broke our fast. Some of us have a longer fast. So and we're gonna be going to.
Just
Madams, let's be going.
Anyways, we're going to mass now, so we're gonna end it here. Well, I can't remember what topic we were talking about. I think it was love. I just thought it would be a good idea to say a prayer, and maybe this prayer to end the podcast, and also maybe a prayer to prepare us for mass and the beginning of Lent. In the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Amen. God, we cannot see you through the dense fog of all the daily demands that clamour for our attention. We do sense your presence swirling ever so lovingly around us. We humbly ask for the grace and wisdom to seek your face first and always, even as the world continuously bangs on the door, demanding of us more than we can give. In this moment, we just want to remain fixed on you, far away from the world's view, locked in your holy gaze. Loving Father, may this Lenten season be a season of sacrifice, surrender and penance, a time overflowing with prayer, fasting and almsgiving, all performed in a holy hiddenness. Sanctify and strengthen us as we strive in darkness to do what we ought. We ask this through Christ our Lord.
Amen.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Galilee. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye!
So I heard he was like, I think I had a little like assembly when I was in primary school when I was a little child. They were said, I think they used to be like this family that was really poor, and I think the girl needed to get married or something and they didn't have money, nothing, and he would go down chimneys in gold.
No, you're mixing it up. That's something.
This is something. No.